Sports presents a CBS Sports Special.
Summer in the Old South. The heat slows life to a crawl. In this corner of Dixie, the quiet of day's end will be replaced by a roaring early morning reveille.
Your attention, please. Crew chiefs and drivers, prepare your cars for inspection.
Daybreak in Talladega welcomes us to an auto race. The last few moments to get your car ready to try for 200 miles an hour. Davey Allison's ready. He heads the second-generation Alabama gang and wants to win number 4 on the year. This one at his home track. But fast filling Davey's rearview mirror are men like Darrell Waltrip. This former champion needs to put behind himself once and for all those crashes. Crashes that would leave any driver shaken in body and in spirit. If Waltrip has doubts, nothing can shake Ernie Irvan. Young, cocky, the winner of this year's Daytona 500. He drives hard. In the eyes of some, too hard. Irvan reminds many of a young Dale Earnhardt. Dale is now older and wiser. He's the defending champion, looking for title number 5. And maybe, just maybe, when you reach the top, you play it a bit safer. Safe enough to lose? We'll see. Some parts of the South are gone forever, as the Iron Horse has given way to today's speed machine, preparing to explode in a day of thunder, as CBS Sports presents the Die-Hard 500. Under sizzling Alabama skies, the grandstands here are filling up with perhaps 100,000 people who will do their very best to outroar today's roaring engines. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Economaki, and I detect a feeling of trepidation in the air here. Why? Because Talladega is a superspeedway, the fastest on the circuit, and that leads to maximum velocity and hazardous going. Little mistakes here can trigger serious crashes, so today's drivers have to be sharp, super sharp. Are they? Well, our Mike Joy is with Darrell Waltrip and Bill Elliott.
Well, Darrell Waltrip, some folks might say you're just lucky to be here after Daytona and Pocono, and you've had a couple of wild rides lately, and here we are at Talladega.
Yeah, it's the last, well, July just hadn't been a very good month, actually, to tell you the truth, but I'm glad to be here today, and I'm running pretty well, and you know, I try not to linger on what happened at Daytona or Pocono. Those are two races that wasn't good to us. They really put us in the hole as far as the points are concerned, but my crew's still up, and I'm still confident, and we're going to give it all we got today and see if we can pull one out.
Bill Elliott, you started the season off. The first half of the season wasn't much to talk about for you, but the last restrictor plate race at Daytona found you in victory lane. Things have really come around.
Yeah, Darrell indicated being in the hole. I've been doing it ever since the start of the year, and it hadn't really crawled out of it very well. But Daytona was a good win for us. It really helped our team. You know, all the guys were going around, their heads were so low that their nose were being skint from dragging on the pavement. But it really picked us up and really felt good for, you know, Coors and all the folks.
Well, these two fellas are proven tenants of victory lane, but this is a track and a race that has rewarded the dark horse and the first-time winner. A couple of fellas who are hoping to be that man today are with Neil Bonnet.
Mike, this racetrack right here is famous for good finishes, and another asset to the thing is guys win their first race at this racetrack. We got two guys right here that are really running good. We've got Sterling Marlin sitting on the pole, and Sterling, you know, a lot of guys won their first race here, and you're looking for it. You got a good shot at it today?
We'll hope so, Neil. The Max Klaus T-Bird is running awful good, and same car heading Daytona set on the pole with it, and it's been a good car for us. So Unical's got a lot of money up for grabs, and we're sure going to be shooting for it today.
Well, so hope you can get that first race today. Thanks for talking with us. We got Hut Strickland right here. Hut hasn't won this season, but he's been knocking on the door all year long. And you know, too, the way this racetrack is, this is a perfect place for you to win.
It really is, Neil. You know, I'll tell you, our team has really come together all year. And, you know, I couldn't think of a better place to win than here at Talladega. So, you know, naturally, we want that first win to come here.
It's happened to a lot of other guys. Ken, we got two guys here who's got a legitimate shot to win this race. If they can survive, we'll see what happens.
Well, indeed, Ned. Or rather, Neil, over a half-dozen drivers have already tasted victory the first time out on this track, and some 100,000 are here to see if it can be duplicated this afternoon. Weather, oh, that's a major story. It is hot. I mean super hot, and it is humid. Kind of humidity where you feel you could lean back and it would hold you up, and there is the potential for showers before this afternoon is over. They're saying 30 to 40%, but right now we feel we're going to go the distance and get it in. This track, this is the one that creates wonderful competition. The $740,000 purse will certainly get the attention of all 41 drivers, but the bigger story is the track itself. It's not only built for speed here, but it's built to give you side-by-side racing all day long. Those 33-degree banks on either end and that 18-degree tri-oval have given us 2 and 3 cars at a time coming right down to the line. So we're getting ready for the 23rd annual Die Hard 500, and we expect it to be what it always is, hot.
This CBS Sports Special, the Die Hard 500, is sponsored by the Die Hard Battery. Now with more power when you need it most. New Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. And by Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered for real draft taste. So get out of the old, get into the cold.
100 miles of competition, CBS style. That's the story this afternoon here at Talladega, Alabama. The other night here at Talladega, a very special ceremony took place. It was the induction ceremony to the International Hall of Fame. And among those men that were celebrated was one of our colleagues. Back in '65, when he won 13 races, he placed in the top 5 in 42 of the 54 events. He joined Sir Malcolm Campbell and Vukovic and Fangio. Our own Ned Jarrett, certainly deserving of such an honor. And he's worked with some pretty good co-announcers over the year. We tried to get George Bush for you today, but that didn't work out, Ned. You got to put up with what you've always had.
Well, Ken, you know you're always the one in motorsports here on CBS. You know, you were talking about restrictor plates a little bit earlier, and they do require a 7/8-inch restrictor plate on the cars here today. That slows the speed a little bit. They also have mandated a new spoiler rule for this race today. They have to have at least 180 square inches on the rear spoiler, and they have put the angle at 35 degrees as opposed to 30 degrees in the past. Now, it has slowed the cars down some, but the purpose of it was to make them more drivable, especially in traffic. But one thing that it has caused, there's so much down pressure on the back of the car that is causing them to porpoise. Now, that's raising the front end, making it go down, and if they get in that position coming off the turns, especially turns 2 and 4, it could cause them a lot of problems. Let's just hope that it doesn't, though, Ken.
Right now, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the 23rd annual Die Hard 500. On the pole will be Sterling Marlin for the 2nd time in his career, and Mark Martin is alongside. In row number 2, it's Ernie Irvan, and the 3-time winner of this event, Dale Earnhardt. Row 3 today is Bill Elliott, fresh from victory at Daytona, and Chad Little, a great qualifying run. Row 4 will be Davey Allison. He is really hot these days, and Rusty Wallace, who just won at Pocono. Row 5 is Harry Gant and Alan Kowicki. For row 6, it's Jeff Bodine and Lake Speed. In row 7, the Waltrips, Michael and Darrell. Row 8 today is Hut Strickland and Bobby Hamilton, the rookie. In row 9, Rick Mast and Ricky Rudd. Row 10 for today's race is Joe Ruttman and a former winner, Richard Petty. Row 11 is Bobby Hillen and Morgan Shepherd. In row 12 will be Stan Smith from Alabama, and Dick Trickle is in car 24 today. Row 13, Ken Schrader, and he's going to come out honking. And Wally Dallenbach is right there with him. Row 14 will be Ted Musgrave, another outstanding rookie, and Larry Pearson. Row 15 today, Brett Bodine and Rick Wilson. Going to row 16, there you have Mike Chase and A.J. Foyt's car and Phil Barkdahl. Row 17 for today is Greg Sachs and a former winner back in '75, Buddy Baker. Going to row 18, there's Terry Labonte, the '89 champion, and Jimmy Means. In row 19 will be Derek Cope and Jimmy Spencer. Row 20 is Eddie Bierschwell and Dale Jarrett in the Wood Brothers car. And rounding out the field, starting 41st, the 1976 winner, Dave Marcus. The engines have been fired. We're getting set for a go here in the Diehard 500. Stay with us for all the action on CBS. Live at Talladega, Alabama, and here is Ernie Irvan starting third today, moving out. As we mentioned in the open, it seemed wherever Ernie Irvan goes these days, controversy follows. Last Sunday, Irvan was once again in the spotlight in the Pocono 500, lap 72. Watch here as car 4 Irvan makes contact with number 12, Hut Strickland, triggering a major incident involving several cars, including Dale Earnhardt, Schrader, and Richard Petty flying over machines, as well as Darrell Waltrip.
I see a young man with a driving style that might be good for Saturday night racing, but it just isn't going to fly here in Winston Cup. I hope I'm not the only driver that's going out on the line or out on the limb and saying how I feel, but I don't want to get hurt driving one of these race cars any more than anybody else does, and this looks like the kind of guy that could hurt you.
I think it's to the point maybe NASCAR needs to take a look at it. You know, seems like he comes out, he doesn't get wrecked. I like Ernie, think he's a good guy, but I'm getting tired of getting swept up in all his accidents.
The biggest problem with Ernie Irvan is he has a lot better equipment than he's a driver. That's number one problem. Number two problem, the boy can't tell the truth from a lie. You know, if you look at the two accidents that he caused here in Talladega and the one in Pocono, both times he denied that he had anything to do with it. You know, Ray Charles could see that he caused both of those accidents, and why he's not man enough to come and admit that he made a mistake and just and patch the fences with everybody else, I don't know. He keeps denying all he's doing and making it worse for everybody.
I told him the other day, I said, I'll tell you the same thing I told Earnhardt. I said, we'll race each other, you hit me, I'm gonna crash you. And I've never had any problem with Irvan, I haven't had any problem with Earnhardt. And if they ever touch me, I'm gonna wipe them out. And so if you got that idea with them, you're not gonna have a problem. And that's the way it is.
I've talked to a few of the drivers this week and some of the car owners, and you know, I've lost a lot of respect. I've lost the respect of a lot of drivers and a lot of car owners in this garage area, and that hurts. I've drove a little bit over aggressive some. I'm going to work on trying to be a little more patient and want to earn everybody's respect back. I like to be liked in the garage area, and appreciate it maybe if you guys give me a shot at it. And I definitely want to be everybody's friend in here.
Well, I tell you, it took a lot of nerve to get up and say that in front of all the drivers, but he has had quite a bit of criticism. He's a great race driver, has a great future ahead of him. Chris, you were at that meeting this morning. What were your feelings?
Well, I know that humble pie is bitter pie to eat, but I have to admire Ernie Irvan. I expect to see a change in him.
Rusty Wallace was saying after that, he walked up to Ernie as they walked out of the meeting and said that was a good start. It'll probably take them about 2 years to forget it.
Well, Rusty knows. He had an image one time to overcome himself.
Well, here we go. Here's Sterling Marlin with the Junior Johnson number 22 up on the point. One of the cars that has been really running well in the last practice yesterday, picked up a 2nd and 2, was Ken Schrader. Now that car is well back in the field. There he is, and he is going to come, I think, charging, really making some move. Ken Schrader, Ken Squire with CBS. Do you read us?
Yeah, Ken, I hear you real good.
Okay, what's the strategy for you as we settle down to get this one going?
Well, we're back here in 25th, and that don't pay real good, so we're going to get to the front quick.
Real quick?
Well, as quick as this thing will go up there.
Kenny, how tough is it going to be to pass?
Well, I don't think it's going to be real easy, but there at the start there for about 3 or 4 laps, everybody stays side by side. You can usually get quite a few cars picked off at the start if you're hustling.
Kenny, is that one of those new cool helmets you're wearing?
Yes, it is. It's a RAFO cool system, and I'll tell you what, it's working wonderful.
Because that is a real factor here today.
Oh, it is, with the humidity as high as it is and the air temperature, too. I feel sorry for the drivers out there today. I'm glad we're up here in the booth.
Thank you, Kenny, and now we're settling down. They'll take another preliminary lap and then underway with the Diehard 500.
the preliminary lap that they'll be bringing. They'll come down pit road right now, and they're coming down pit road to adjust the drivers of the speed that they'll be permitted to run on pit road today, which is 70 miles per hour. Now let's go to the pits and Chris Economack.
Well, you know, I look at the lineup here. I've been around racing all my life, and I have never seen a higher quality field than is on the track today. There are 41 men out there. 22 of them have won races on the tough Winston Cup circuit. 5 of them are national champions. Altogether, 485 victories have been recorded by the men in today's race, and it is ironic that the man on the pole, Sterling Marlin, has yet to win.
That's a really impressive figure as you see this field going back up onto the 33-degree banking of the first and second turn. That is Davey Allison. There's his tack, giving him an idea what 70 miles per hour will register, Ned.
That's exactly the reason NASCAR brings them down pit road, is so that whatever gear they're going to be in coming down pit road, they can look down at their tachometer. And Davey is using a digital tack, which is relatively new in Winston Cup racing. Most of the time they have used the circle tack that, you know, has the numbers on there, but this is much easier to read for him. And of course they know how they can how fast they are going by the RPMs. We understand that Dale Jarrett has an oil leak already. Boy, he's had some problems this week. The Wood Brothers have changed the engines already 5 times in that car.
Back and forth a couple of engines.
Yeah.
This is an all new engines. Let's go to Mike Joy.
And Ken, two engine changes this morning. Jeff Bodine's team changed an engine in the Junior Johnson car, and also Team 3, Barry Dodson and crew, changed an engine for driver Dick Trickle, and due to lengthy inspection to check spoiler heights and angles, they almost didn't make it out to the starting line. Arrived here just 2 minutes before the command to fire engine.
41 cars into turn 3, 9 previous winners in the field. Ford's up in the front row for the 4th time in 91. Chris?
Well, we talked to Leonard Wood this morning, Dale Jarrett's car, and I said, how you feel? He said, I feel fine. He said, but my car's sick. So, Ned, I think Dale's got a problem.
He's got a long day ahead of him, I think, Chris.
All right, coming to the line. 10th time a Ford has been on the pole in the 17 races thus far in 1991. Those Chevys locked right behind them in the second row, numbers 4 and 3, Irvin and Earnhardt, as the field gets ready to skedaddle down here into turn number 1 and get this thing going. Green is on. Even on the brake. And staying even up into turn 2.
Takes a while to get the speed up with those restrictor plates on these engines, Ken. In fact, it takes them a full lap to get up to full speed.
Harry Gant was saying this morning that, said, you know, on an even 1 here, said, running with those restrictor plates just isn't that much fun. If you get out of line even a little, there's nothing you can do. You just have to wait. You have to be very patient. Let's see who's
well. We see that outside line moving very good. Sterling Marlin down the inside has already dropped back to about 5th position. Mark Martin has moved up front with Dale Earnhardt right on his back bumper, and then Bill Elliott.
And Chad Little has pulled up as well. Remember, he started 6th up there battling in the 4th position as they move around. Here's your leader. Chad Little right up on that outside group, trying to move through. That is not the leader. That's back in that 4th spot. You see Sterling Marlin side by side and the 3 in front. Hustling down into corner number 1. It's Mark Martin in front, then the Chevrolet of Earnhardt and Bill Elliott, who ran so well at Daytona. With Darrell Waltrip, there's Hut Strickland. I tell you, I think Hut Strickland's chances, even though that's a Buick, Fords and the Chevy seem to be the story here. He has been strong in practice, particularly strong yesterday afternoon, as was Schrader.
And I think he'll get stronger as the race goes on, and the track maybe gets a little bit slicker. The sun hasn't shined on the track too much here today to make it very slick, but that's when Hut Strickland will really start going, and so will Earnhardt, although he's up there right now.
Martin for the lead, Earnhardt second. And as they come by with 2 laps down, going back into the turn, you see Bill Elliott right there. Here's Mark Martin, races he's run this year, and the positions he's drawn up in the points. Now being challenged by Earnhardt. Little help from Bill Elliott in the 9 car. Back straight.
And a spin on turn 2. The car has spun around, coming around turn 2 as the leaders go into turn 3. It was the car number 90 of Wally Dallenbach.
Wally Dallenbach's number 90. Grazing the wall. He didn't get into it hard. He spun and collected the wall just at the end of the incident. Backs it into the wall. Looks like it could be terminal for car number 90 in the Donlevy crew today. Back to the wire.
Dale Earnhardt's going to lead it, get himself 5 Winston Cup bonus points.
Bill Elliott pulls up into second as they cross the line. This incident taking place on Colorado's Wally Dallenbach as they were getting into the third lap. Turn 1, it started to break away. Turn 2, it went around, and it finds the outside wall at the exit of turn 2 off the 33-degree banking. We will return with more live coverage of the Die Hard 500 from the Talladega Superspeedway after this message and a word from your local station. Wally Dallenbach Jr.'s car out of turn number 2 after a wild slide. He had started in 26th position. He was running by himself.
Yes, he was. He had dropped back at the back of the pack in and was totally by himself. And the car got squirrely as he went around turn 1 and then into turn 2. It just looped around and it looked like it was going to be okay. And then it spun on around and got into the wall. Here we see him going around one more time. So quite a bit of damage to the Junior Don Levy Ford. They had a new sponsor on that car today.
So here after 4 laps is the way they're running, with Earnhardt in first, Bill Elliott in second, Sterling Marlin, the pole sitter, back to third, Mark Martin, who'd set up in the front row, is fourth, and Rusty Wallace finds himself in 5th. Now further back in the field, Ken Schrader had started in 25th, and he has fallen back a couple of positions to 27th. Ken Schrader, this is CBS Control. Do you read us?
Yeah, we're not doing too good so far, are we?
Did you get caught in the wrong row on that start?
Well, I just, my shifting skills aren't the best. I didn't shift up through the gears real good and made a couple wrong moves, but we're not done.
I tell you, sometimes it's hard getting to know which move to make out there, isn't it?
Well, it is when, you know, your decisions are based on everybody else's, and when they don't know exactly which way they're going yet, it's hard for you to anticipate it, but I was a little surprised. I thought we'd get more than the first couple laps, but we'll be okay.
Well, if this makes you feel any better, now Sterling Marlin started on the pole on the inside row, and so did you. And Sterling on the first lap went back to about 5th place on the inside row. So that had to back you up some.
Yeah, that must have been the problem.
Well, of course, yeah.
It must have been the problem.
All right, we'll be back with more live coverage from the Die Hard 500 at the Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama following these messages. 188 laps complete. Davey Allison's car in 10th is giving us this picture of the number 30 car. Michael Waltrip has made a good move. He's come from 13th in the starting grid up to 9th position, getting set for a start again. Let's go down to Mike Joy.
Well, Ken, here's how they're keeping cool in the Kyle Petty pit. This is a cool Dana. It's a bandana with a slot for gel encased in plastic and then frozen. Reusable, goes around the neck and keeps you kind of cool. The drivers are using this device called a Parker pumper. Uses a Simpson or a Bell helmet with this inlet and pumps cool air up through the chin piece at the driver's face. The cool air is taken in by this regular automotive heater squirrel cage blower, and it blows into a pretty standard looking cooler, inside which is this finned aluminum tool and this tube, and this is packed in ice, and then it blows out through there and into the driver's helmet. Very basic, but very effective. Coming soon, you won't believe this, air conditioning for race cars. Yes, regular automotive air conditioning with an evaporator and a condenser, and it should be ready for these cars in about 4 weeks. Too late for Talladega. Neil?
I tell you what, Mike Joy, I used those cool suits before in my race car, and I always told you it was easier driving a race car and doing that. If you look at the sweat on me right here, I'm ready to get back in one of those cars and turn the cool suit on. I tell you, it's hot. They even had the temperature to tell you how hot it gets at this particular racetrack a few years ago. The fire extinguishers were actually blowing up in the cars. They had to design new relief valves and extinguishers because it was so hot. They had to change everything in these cars, and I'm ready to break out my cool suit right now. And I need it.
Those things were set for, what, 170 degrees? Wasn't that the temperature reading?
Yeah, sure was, Ken, and they were. Everybody thought the cars were blowing engines. You'd see the guy pull the inside, and he just couldn't see because he was full of foam inside the car, so they had to go to work on that end of it also.
Well, the new air conditioning cannot come soon enough for one Bill Elliott, who was parboiled down there at Daytona this year.
Boy, he certainly was in Victory Lane. It was very, very hot, humid, as it is here today.
I think we've got a temperature gauge right now. This is Schrader's car.
That's not too bad, just a little over 100 degrees. Not bad at all. Of course, he's running under caution right now. And the green flag is out. It won't be caution long. In fact, it isn't.
I think that stove is on preheat. Here we come to the line, and as they get back to racing, Blown rear tires to report on Dallenbach's car. The reason he spun. Earnhardt, Elliott, Marlin, Martin, Wallace, the front five. 6 is Ernie Irvin. 7th, Chad Little. 8th, Kowicki. 9th, Malcolm Waltrip. 10th, Davey Allison. 11th, Bodine as they get back under green. Back to full speed by the time they're into 3. Earnhardt doesn't usually come out and lead those early laps. Led by lap 3 and picked up those bonus points. There's Elliott hanging right in second.
Again, yesterday in practice, Earnhardt was super confident. He went out in the early minutes of the practice, ran about a half a dozen laps, took the car back in the garage and covered it up, declared he was ready to go, and apparently he was.
There's the shuffle, and here's Ernie Irvin coming to the inside, making a run, trying for third. Get underneath Sterling Marlin. Sterling nearly won this race back in '86 when Bobby Hillin came home first. Last lap, he and Allison got tangled up down here in turn number 1. Bobby Hillin won his one and only race. Side by side into the back straightaway. The number 4 on the inside, Irvin, the man of controversy as we come to this race. And let's look a little further back here. Ken Schrader trying to get sorted out. He said yesterday, we're ready to go to the front. He's closing up on Alabama's Stan Smith, who was involved in one of those pit road incidents a year ago here at Talladega.
Looks like it has a crack in the windshield, Ken, already. Yeah, that's a pretty good crack. That could become a problem for him later on. Don't know.
Helmet cam giving you a little sense of what it's really like in there.
I'll tell you, he's bouncing around quite a bit.
Through the 18-degree tri-oval, back in front. Earnhardt leading, Elliott second. The number 22, Sterling Marlin right there. Mark Martin holding on in 4th. And Rusty Wallace on the outside sweeps up into 5th as Ernie Irvin falls to 6th. 7th is Kowicki going down the back straightaway. Speed up to over 190 miles per hour now as you watch them entering turn 3. Chad Little in the 19 car, who qualified in 6 and qualified very well at Daytona as well, still very much a factor among these lead cars.
Now we're riding in Ken Schrader's car and see if we can get a feel of the banking going into turn 1 as he follows Stan Smith in there. Boy, see how much banking it is?
33 degrees. Really looks like. Great camera angle, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. That's the first time I've seen that particular shot. That's very good. Schrader is really not doing what I expected him to do. He's sitting back there still in the, what, about 27th position, so he really hasn't moved up, and that is a little surprising. You can see a lot of daylight between he and Stan Smith and the front pack up there. They've dropped back quite a bit.
Here he is into that 18-degree corner, the tri-oval area of the track, start-finish line area. That's what 18 degrees looks like. We'll take him down here into turns 1 and 2 and give you a sense of 33 again. 25 car running back in 27th position. Notice how your vision is really cut off out there, Ned.
Well, it is when you go into that turn. You just have to look as far ahead as you possibly can, straight ahead, or sort of turn your head to the left a little bit when you go into the turn, because if you look straight ahead, you'll see that outside wall.
Back in front, Earnhardt the leader. Dropping further back, here you see the number 11 car, which is Jeff Bodine. He's in a struggle for the moment. Being shown in the 12th position. Trying to sort himself out and make some of a run here. The sister car, the 22 car, having a very good day up in 4th.
Yeah, there are 24 cars in this lead pack, so the field has been divided out. Then there's another pack of cars pretty far back, but 24 of them still running up in that lead pack. You can see about 18 of them there.
Getting hung out to dry, or hung on the inside to dry. Chad Little's number 19 down on the bottom and falling back. There was a delay earlier in getting the cars out on line, and for that story, here's Neil.
Ken, there was a lot of cars that didn't get on the line early. The problem is when they start tinkering with these things with that rear spoiler. These planes, cars are going faster than most small aircraft. This is a nose panel off Davey Allison's car. These come from the factory with an added length here. you cut them to fit per car. What they were doing, they had them really close to the ground to overcome the porpoising that Ned was talking about earlier. What they did, they had them low to the ground, come to the inspection, and made everybody cut them off way up here. Now everyone is concerned what it's going to do to the car in the draft. Right now, everybody's just playing with it to see what happens. We'll go down to Chris and see what's happening on that end.
We're here with Wally Dallenbach, the first man out of the race. Wally, we heard about the inspectors making the cars change before they went out on the track. Is that the problem you had to send your car around?
No, not at all, Chris. We just cut a tire going into turn one, and really my inexperience, I didn't feel it going down, and the car felt a little bit loose going into the corners, and finally it just blew going into turn one, and that was it.
You know, you're a Trans Am champion. What's the big difference between Trans Am road racing and Superspeedway racing in NASCAR?
Well, there's a lot of differences. I mean, the cars are so fast here, and we run so close all the time. But it's just a terrible way to go out. We had a lot of people with Oregon here this weekend, and I hope this doesn't discourage them.
We were going to call you the Exterminator, Wally.
Well, we were ready to give him a good ride, but boy, something like that just puts you out just like that. And it really was my inexperience of not feeling the tire go down.
Well, lots of luck to you next time. Back to you, Ken.
Wally Dallenbach has put on an outstanding run here in May. Out early day, he started 32nd, charged up into the top 10 back here in that May Winston 500. From Davey Allison's perspective in car number 28, or from that front bumper perspective, he's now up to third place and closing on number 9, Bill Elliott, as they come through the tri-oval, working lap 16. Can't get too much closer than that.
No, not really, but in the draft, they do run awfully close together.
Earnhardt continuing to lead now by 2.5 car lengths. There's Davey Allison's number 28 in third. Mark Martin had been running in fourth. Sterling Marlin has just moved back around him to take over in fourth. The other guy who's mixing things up in here just a tad further back is car number 30, Michael Waltrip. Davey Allison fighting it out right up among those leaders.
Ken, there's one driver you talked about at the top of the show, is Hutch Strickland, who felt would have a good run. And he is having a good run, but he has dropped back almost at the back of this lead pack. He's back to about 22nd position.
It's in the Bobby Allison car. He had a great run in that final practice yesterday, and I kind of thought he was going to have himself a day today.
Well, Bill Elliott's having a good day right now. Sort of Earnhardt out to dry, as they say, down on the inside, and now the train's going by on the outside. Davey Allison also has gone by, but his Fords have hooked up together. Bill Elliott, then Davey Allison, and then the car number 22 of Sterling Marlin. Jeff Bodine right on his back bumper, so they're trying to hang that Chevrolet out on the inside there.
And they've pretty well done it, too. Mark Martin's coming up alongside now. And there's Earnhardt with no place to go but backward.
Yeah, he needs some help. He says, where's one of my Chevrolet buddies? All those 6 cars, Fords on the outside there. Now here comes the car number 4. That's a Chevrolet that might help Earnhardt a little bit. But up front, the Fords want to battle with each other.
And the number 30, Michael Waltrip's Pontiac, rounds out that top 10. Back for the lead. Davey Allison on the inside and sweeping to the outside. Dawsonville George's number 9 Elliott, and as he goes up the outside, there's 22 Sterling Marlin right down to the bottom. Getting a lap time for you. Tell you just how fast they're maneuvering around this 2.6-mile High Bank Superspeedway in Alabama. The 23rd annual Diehard 500.
Well, with those cars racing side by side, that's giving Davey Allison some free running out there by himself. He looks up in his rearview mirror and says, keep that up, fellas. I'll drive away from him.
3 of the last 6 races have been Davey's.
But they'll single out and won't let him sit out there long by himself.
Indeed, they're catching him up right now. Earnhardt finding his way right back up on the inside.
He has some momentum going into turn 1. He drives it right down on the bottom of the racetrack, and he'll get him.
There's some horsepower for you out of car number 3.
Confidence, too. When he drove down on the inside, he never lifted going into that turn. He was wide open.
Sliding by, Davey Allison comes number 22.
And you notice how quickly how he got back in line. Now he wants the lead. He got back in line to pick up the draft of Dale Earnhardt, and then just built that momentum and took off.
Down to the inside, here comes number 30 trying to make his move. Look at this sweep by Michael Waltrip. He's going to collect himself 5 points. He's got another 400 feet out of the tri-oval to the line.
Well, he didn't get it. I don't know. It was awfully close. No finish as it came across there, but according to my angle, it looked like Marlin might have had him just by inches.
And Joe Ruttman is coming up to challenge for second. Let's get a word from Chris.
Watching Davey Allison at the drivers' meeting this morning, 2 hours before the start of the race, Davey Allison was the only driver that attended in his driving suit. He's the leading money winner this year. Earnhardt's leading to the point standing, but Allison's $925,000 leads in money. If he wins today, he'll go over $1 million on the year. He's ready.
He is, but right now, Chris, he's falling back a little, and Chad Little just made a move in turn 3. It would put your heart in your throat. The number 19 almost onto the apron as he pulls up behind car number 75, Joe Ruttman.
There's Hud Strickland down on the inside. Ken, he was 22nd not long ago. Here he is up there battling for 5th.
Neil Bonnet.
Ken, as we're going through inspection, we were watching all the cutting and chopping going on, and I was talking to Billy Engel, who is Mike Waltrip's crew chief, and they cut a tremendous amount of sheet metal out from under the nose panel of that car, which held the nose down. They were really questionable where they were going to be if they had hurt the car. Looks like it didn't hurt it. He's leading the race. Evidently, they made the right moves.
Might have helped him, Neil, the way he's running there right now. I'll tell you, those fellas are dicing around up there as they were the last lap. Look at Hud Strickland on the inside. Caught Chad Little in the middle. Here comes Mark Martin. Say you can't pass with a restrictor plate? How about this?
There's how Hud Strickland has moved through the standings this year. He is really on a roll. He looked tremendous up at Michigan in our CBS coverage. And here is Hud Strickland putting that Buick down on the bottom of the track, going for second spot, but not for long. Some race at 22 laps. Still some 24 cars all locked together, and Strickland has come from 20th up to fight for the lead. Think that inspection this morning has anything to do with this, Ned?
I'll tell you, I can't help but believe that it has. The last few races at Daytona, there was a good race there on July 6th, and at Pocono last week, it was a good race, had a big crash, but they have really tightened down on the inspection, as Neil Bonnet and Mike Joy have talked about in the pits what all they have been doing, and I think that it has helped to equalize the field a little bit more, because you just couldn't have better racing than we see here.
Well, Ned, I'm wondering about this porpoising he talked about. If that might have led to the cracked windshield on Ernie Irvan's car. Can you see it from your position up there? Are these cars bouncing up and down in this heavy traffic? And if so, I'm going to cross my fingers.
Well, haven't really seen that much of it, Chris, as they come by the start-finish line, which is our position here and one of the fastest points on the racetrack. We haven't seen the cars bouncing up and down too much, so apparently they've been able to work that out quite a bit. And I think the biggest concern was when they came off of the turns, and we're looking at them now as they just came off of turn 2, one of the most critical points, and everybody came off of there just smooth and easy.
This is some war for the lead at over 190 miles per hour. Hud Strickland in the number 12 on the inside, and beside him Michael Waltrip, the number 30 Pontiac. Buick and Pontiac now leading. Joe Ruttman is there in third. On the outside, the number 22 Ford of Sterling Marlin, and Chad Little continues to mix it up. Chad's having the best run. He's never had a finish better than, I think it was 11th in 87 out of Riverside, California. He's had a 14th this year, had a 12th down at Daytona. Right now, he looks like he could be the man, the dark horse to win this. We're down to 24 laps complete. Let's begin to talk about pit strategy here and go to Mike Joy.
Well, Ken, if we stay under green, pit stops would scatter this field somewhat, and there's a lot of questioning as to how far they can run on a tank of fuel. It's what a lot of teams were working on in the last practice session yesterday. The smaller restrictor plate means that the carburetors will use less gas, but opening up those front ends underneath and that taller and straighter up rear spoiler means the cars will be dirtier aerodynamically and use more gas. We may see green flag pit stops as early as, say, lap 32 or 33.
14 cars here trying to do a breakaway, and as they try to break away, they're leaving some very strong people behind them, like Ernie Irvan and Rusty Wallace. And here again, some kind of a start to the Diehard 500. It's final round coverage of the Cannon Greater Hartford Open from the Tournament Players Club in Cromwell, Connecticut, featuring that par 4 15th hole, which for some, like Mark Calcavecchia here, is reachable in one. Tune in to see the big hitters on the PGA Tour. That's next on CBS Sports. working the 29th lap at the present time, back at 27 as they continue to muster a change every half lap out here. Dale Earnhardt was then leading. Davey Allison second. Sterling Marlin had himself a third spot. Bill Elliott was then in fourth, and Jeff Bodine in fifth. But as they come by now to complete lap number 29, here's how they've switched them around. There's 14 cars running this lead draft, and then a second draft about, what, 20 car lengths back?
Well, there are a total of 30 drivers that are within about a second and a half of each other. There was about 6 cars that was way back a second and a half or so, but they've caught up now.
Here's Davey Allison. Those pictures as he dove into turn number 1 about 193 miles per hour in our live coverage, and fights with the Chevrolet of Dale Earnhardt. Now Earnhardt starts to pull along on the outside, and they've hung Davey Allison now. He's stuck on the inside groove, and he falls back 3 positions very quickly. And in this latest change of positions, Earnhardt has moved that Chevrolet back into the front of the field.
Davis' car seems to want to run high, or at least he's driving it up there. So it depends on how the car is working in the turns as to which groove you might use.
As they come back to the stripe this time, Earnhardt first, Elliott second. Sterling Marlin moves to third, and Davey Allison falls in fourth. Here's Neil Bond.
Ken, I walked over here in Davey Allison's pit, talked to Robert Yates, a car owner and engine builder. I was asking you, Robert, what Davey's saying, and usually those radios will tell you what your car's doing. It seems to be the traffic jam they're working on.
Well, every driver I'm listening to is complaining about, you know, this is a pretty tough seat to be sitting in right now. It's frustrating from the engine builder side that you can't, you know, you just can't do anything with them. You have to use a draft, and they're all in a blanket, and you know, they could run like that all day, but if anybody has any kind of problem at all, it could be the same thing we've had. It's sort of inevitable. That could happen. We hope it don't. It's awful tough standing here watching this.
Ken, these radios are supposed to be to work on these cars. They're for blow-by-blow today. Go down to Mike Joyett.
Neil, I think perhaps the fastest car on the racetrack right now in 18th is Kenny Schrader. Richard Broom, he started well back, but he took that pack right up to the front, and now they're part of the lead draft. When he got in front of that group, they were running half a second a lap faster than with other cars in front. He's coming hard.
He's been really good, and you know, I'm just trying to keep him calm and try to keep him out of trouble. The guy's got to race pretty hard in front. I told him I didn't know where he wanted to be in there or not.
When will you pit?
Pardon?
When will you pit?
Probably lap 55, somewhere in that neighborhood.
That's a long way to go.
It really is, Mike. And you know, he has come back up, what, to 19th now?
Well, the 18th now. He's moved around the number 1 car, Brick Mass, and he's challenging, as you see here, Ernie Irvin.
You know, we talked about Dale Jarrett. I got to get a word in for him. At the top of the show, starting in 40th place, he's going to have a long day. Mike, I might challenge who's the fastest car out there, who's made the biggest move. Dale Jarrett has already moved up to 21st position from 40th position. He's been riding the draft with Ken Schrader coming up through there, so Schrader has certainly helped him a lot, but I can't believe myself that all the troubles they've had here this week, that he has moved up that far in the field at this point.
Tremendous amount of frustration for the Wood brothers, who have had so many great winners and so many great champions, but their motor program just doesn't seem to have the oomph it used to have.
Well, this is a car that was involved in a wreck here in May at Talladega, and they feel that the bodies, maybe they didn't get it back on quite right, and that is so critical on these high-speed racetracks. They put different motors in it, and they just simply couldn't get anything to make it run, but apparently it really drafts well.
And, of course, big news is that Dale Jarrett, along with his brother-in-law, Jimmy Makar, move on to a new team next year. The head of the Washington Redskins, Joe Gibbs, is going to field one of these $3 million teams, and there's no kidding about it.
No,
Gibbs intends to go out and win the championship with the driver of number 21.
He's very serious about his involvement in auto racing, and I think all the people in the sport really welcome Joe Gibbs into this sport. He'll bring a tremendous amount of credibility.
There's Greg Saxon, number 47, rolling around, picking up the spot right behind the 21 car, and Bodine. And of course, these Buick drivers, like Bodine in the 26 and Hut Strickland in the 12, it's Sayonara, the Buick, in 1992. General Motors announcing they're not going to race them, and particularly in Hut Strickland and Bobby Allison's case, the car owner, kind of feel hung out to dry here. Let's go to Chris.
Well, we spoke earlier about the quality of the field. What impresses me here is the quality of the restrictor plate racing. It wasn't too many races ago when everybody was down on restrictor plates and how it affected the sport. It was a bad thing. I didn't think you could see a a better race than we're seeing today with these tiny restrictor plates.
It's a great frustration, however, for those drivers. They know there's more in there, and they just can't get to use it. Here's Allison running at 4th position and trying to close in again. And the old adage, patience is a virtue, is the only way to run this one.
The only way to run, that's the truth. It's, Davey just staying right in behind Sterling Marlin there right now. Alan Kowicki is in that front pack 10. He's running in the 8th place and in the car number 7. We have a report that there are some of the drivers that said there might be a little bit of a spray of moisture coming from this car. It doesn't look like there's any smoke or anything there right now, but Alan Kowicki is certainly running good, hanging up there in the lead draft in 8th place.
You can't see anything off the car right now, but the gentleman directly behind him, running in 9th position, is Mark Martin, and Ricky Rudd is right there as well. That's where those reports are coming from about Kowicki's car, number 7.
Quick note on an unscheduled pit stop. Rick Wilson made an unscheduled pit stop. He finds himself a lap down. Rick was running up there in the lead pack before he had to make that stop. Apparently had a flat tire.
And reviewing a little further back, you see the number 30 has been a factor here. Now 75 has fallen back into that lead group. Number 30, Michael Waltrip, who came up here and challenged for the lead, now finds himself back in 11th.
But I think that one thing we're seeing happen here now, Tim, they have run almost 100 miles, and we'll see some pit stops coming up here before too long, even though Ricky Broom and Ken Schrader's car said they might go 55 laps. There won't be a whole lot of them that'll go that far, but the tires are getting heated up now. They're going to slip around a little bit on the tracks, so they just find themselves a nice, comfortable position to run in there until they make that pit stop and get on some pressure tires.
37 laps, 98 miles have been completed in the 23rd annual Die Hard 500 here at the Alabama International Motor Speedway. 500 race summary is sponsored by Quaker State. The Big Q is One Tough Motor Oil. After 96 miles had been completed here, we'd had 7 different leaders. The lead had been swapped 10 times among them, but we were averaging only 157 miles an hour, nowhere near the record. For we had a caution very early in the going for 5 laps. Came out about lap number 3, and Wally Dallenbach had a problem and retired, the only car from the 41 car field that is not out here hustling on this 2.6-mile track. At the present time, however, car number 7, the car of Wally Dallen, the car of Alan Kowicki, is being black flagged. Consultation flag is out.
Yeah, they've given that to him a couple of laps in a row here, Tim. He's going to have to come in. His crew had asked NASCAR to say, hey, let us go until our scheduled pit stop at about lap 50, but they said we can't wait that long. We're getting too many complaints. We mentioned earlier that there was some fluid maybe coming from it. We understand that it could possibly be the rear end leaking some grease.
Let's go down to Neil Bonnet. He may have more.
Ken and Ned, we just talked to some people in Rusty Wallace who have been following him. He said it's oil on the windshield. It could be like Ned said, it could possibly be rear end grease or engine oil, but the NASCAR officials are in the pit right now. They're not going to let him wait. They're going to bring him in right now. And since he's coming in for the black flag, they're going to go ahead and pull that normal pit stop. They got 2 tires here ready to go on. They're going to fuel him. They're going to try to repair the damage, but also make that normal pit stop a little bit early. We'll see if we can tell what's going on here. I don't see any fluid behind the car, but we've got 2 officials. One official laying on the ground behind the car, up under it, seeing if he can find out what's going on. It's not going to be a normal pit stop with the speed we usually see. That inspector on the rear is going to have to be satisfied or they won't release this car. He's over looking at that side of it. I don't see a tremendous amount of fluid. They're going to pop the deck lid. The rear of these cars have the oil tank. Every bit of the engine oil is in the trunk. They want to make sure there's not any blow by there. He's telling them to wipe the oil off the rear. They want to see if it floats up again. The car could possibly been overfull of oil when it started, but right now it's just a guessing game.
Neil, he's been in there 40 seconds. This is Comet lap 41, 109 miles into the race.
Yeah, they wanted to hold NASCAR off until their normal stop like you were talking about, but they were getting so many complaints they had to pull it off. I'm looking on the ground where the car was parked. There's no abundance of oil there. I don't see any drippage. It must just be blowback coming out of the car.
47 seconds was the total time on pit road.
Yeah, that's going to cost them a lot. And when the others come in, they're probably going to make those pit stops in about 22 to 24 seconds, even changing 4 tires. So that's going to put him out of the lead draft and maybe even an extra lap down.
Looking further back in the field, battle for 12th, number 30, Michael Waltrip, right in there mixing it up. But for the moment, The number 4 car has swept around. And number 30 has dropped back.
Yeah, that 25 car of Kent Schrader, as Mike Joy pointed out earlier, is really on the move. I think he is the fastest car in the track now.
And Schrader's car is being shown in the 13th position. He's trying to get locked up here and just draw away with the number 4 of Ernie Irvan.
Well, they hooked up together at Daytona, the last restrictor plate race on July 6th. The 4 car of Ernie Irvan and the 25 car of Kenny Schrader, and dominated the field until late in the race, and Bill Elliott came along and passed them both, won the race.
Let's just review the front of the field and give you a sense of the interval. There's the number 3 car out in front, which is Earnhardt. Then Elliott runs in second. The 3rd place car is Sterling Marlin for the moment, with Davey Allison hanging right out in 4th. And here's Jeff Bodine up into the 5th spot as they cross the line. Those are the front 5. Just behind Davey Allison's number 28, you can see the separation here. There's the Bodine car. And then comes Joe Ruttman a moment ago. He's still there.
A little bit of a gap back there. He might have lost the grab through that front group. There's Chad Little running into 7th place. Chad having a super run here today. That's Strickland still up there. He's shown in 8th place. 9th is Mark Martin, and 10th is Blake Speed. Yeah, Kelly Arbor is entering, having a good run here today. And then Ricky Rudd is at the back of that front 11 car pack.
Followed by the 4 car of Ernie Irvan and the 25 car, who are having their own little jostle as they try to collect these leaders. Now here you see Eddie Bierschwell's car slowing down. This coming at lap 45. 119 miles complete, and Eddie Bierschwell out of Texas rolls in car number 95.
And this should be a scheduled pit stop. He might not have checked the gas mileage quite as close as some of the others, and didn't know exactly how far he could go, or he has a fuel gauge light in there that comes on when the fuel gets low, and that perhaps came on, so they say it's time to come into the pit. You don't want to run out of gas here. If you do, you hope it's going into the 3rd turn.
Understand that NASCAR is assessing a penalty of 15 seconds for getting that crew over the wall too quickly. Those 6 men came out just a little faster than they were supposed to.
It was emphasized in the drivers' meeting this morning that you do not go over the wall until the car is within 1 pit of your own pits. If you do, he says, we're going to assess you 15 seconds, and that's exactly what we see happening there now. The NASCAR official standing there with his watch, timing that 15 seconds, and boy, I'll tell you, they are a long 15 seconds when you have to sit there and you see those cars out there zipping around over 195 miles an hour.
More like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Ernie Irvan, they say, is going to raise the spoiler on the pit stop. They've received permission from the NASCAR tower to kick that thing up.
Well, they were told again in the drivers' meeting that if you make a change on that spoiler during a pit stop, you must notify the NASCAR officials. Now, if they should bend that spoiler down, the NASCAR official has to measure it. If they move it up, which we understand that Ernie Irvan's crew will do, then the NASCAR officials won't measure it, of course, because they started out with it at least 35 degrees, and they don't care if you put it up 50 degrees, that's fine. They just don't want you to get under 35 degrees.
Well, there you see Joe Ruttman has brought the field all back together again. Got that lead combination of drivers up to 14 cars in that immediate lead draft. Meanwhile, back in the 28th position is car number 17, Darrell Waltrip.
Well, he is ready to drop back.
Foxy old game, or is he in trouble? Well, Mike Joy has more on car number 17.
Well, I'd go fox hunting if I were you, Ken. Jeff Hammond said there's nothing wrong with that car. He just wants Darrell away from all the traffic. I don't know if that's just strategy or if it's reactionary to what happened at Daytona or at Pocono, but he wants Darrell on the lead lap but away from traffic. Now, I think I said earlier pit stops would start at 32 or 33. I had meant 42 or 43, and we are seeing green flag pit stops now. Richard Petty in, and I'm in the Moroso pit where Buddy Baker is due in within 1 lap.
So as you follow Darrell Waltrip, he's closing up on Alabama's Stan Smith. That's 26th and 27th position, well back, but very much in that lead lap. Richard Petty has completed his pit stop and moved out here, hobbling around, using a crutch these days after he broke a bone in his knee in a terrible crash out at Sears Point, California earlier this year. Not of his own making either. That was Griffin lost an engine.
Yeah, hit an oil slick and went hard into the wall. Here is Buddy Baker in the pits. Let's go back there with Mike Joy.
Buddy running a limited 12 race schedule for Dick Moroso, former winner here. They're all set with the right side tires, just fueling, and they'll want to get out quickly because Jimmy Means is due in just in front of him. Baker's done, and he's away.
Whoop. Let's
tire got away. They wanted to get back out on the racetrack, didn't they? But it's sitting in the grass area between the pit road and the racetrack. Now one of the crew members will go out and get it as Buddy Baker moves back out on the track. A 4-time winner here at Talladega, Buddy Baker.
And a 1-time winner in this race, and has led more laps on this racetrack than anyone. Buddy Baker, and he's another one of those old super speedway guys that really likes full speed ahead.
Oh, he loves to run this track in Daytona. Here's Bobby Hillin in the pits. Bobby Hillin, of course, substituting for Kyle Petty, who was injured here in May in that 23-car wreck on the backstretch.
And Kyle Petty is on the mend. He was here earlier this week, also on crutches, and continues to talk about Darlington. But I think that Felix Abetis is saying that there might be an issue. Now all the leaders are coming in.
Yeah, all the front runners coming in. And once Earnhardt made his decision to come in, everybody else said they want to get in. They hope they can make an equal pit stop, get back out, and stay in the lead draft.
So all the leaders truck on down to pit road to refuel. Let's get a word from Neil Bonnet. This coming at 150.
They also made a point that they were going to hit with Elliott, and when the leaders came in, all of them came in. They're putting the tires on, which is really not necessary. The fuel is a big concern. These radials will run a long time.
Ken Schrader being held. Don't know what the call is on Schrader, but here he comes out.
Well, he could have, the men could have gone over the wall a little bit early, or he could have just gone over the line just a tad, but I would suspect that the men went over the wall too early.
Derek Cope scooting by him as he comes to speed. They're being held on the end of pit road. These pit stops all taking place at lap 50. Came in at the end of 49, 133 miles in. Remember, the guy with the fuel range always seems to be Harry Gant, and yesterday Harry Gant did a lot of testing at final practice. Let's go quickly to Mike Joy, and we'll talk about that more in a moment.
Mike Waltrip in for a stop. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up, where everybody gets back to green flag racing, as he did not come in the same lap as the leaders. They have just gone by, and now Waltrip is away. He's going to be about half a lap behind the lead car when he gets back up to speed.
Schrader, the report is too many men over the wall. That was the penalty on Schrader, and the reason he was held, as you watch Brett Bodine and the car number 30 of Michael Waltrip coming back out here. The range of these cars becomes a real issue at Talladega, and yesterday Harry Gant drove himself almost another complete race in that final practice period, and the reason, to find out what the range was going to be with this change of the spoiler angle.
Well, everybody figured that it would be the gas mileage would not be as good with the spoiler being bigger and also a little bit taller, 35 degrees as we mentioned earlier. So he wanted to see how far he could go, but he said that it was really not that much difference, maybe a lap or so, and that really surprised me.
About a tenth of a gallon, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really surprised me.
Well, we're under a caution period, not under a caution period, under a period for pit stops here, and it is a green flag condition. We've had but one caution period thus far. That came early in the race with the Wally Dallenbach situation when he spun in turn number 2, and here's Rick Mast's car, number 1, now coming on pit road. Only one caution thus far. They could sure use one right now. Here you see Rick Mast in the number 1. Making their stop. They waited a bit, and we'll return with more live coverage of the Diehard 500 from the Talladega Superspeedway after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports Special, the Diehard 500, is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? The world-class protection of Pennzoil motor oil. Pennzoil, ever since America learned to drive. And by Keystone and Keystone Light, bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great?
Here at Talladega, Alabama, after 54 laps have been completed, 143 miles, the 1983 Rookie of the Year, Sterling Marlin, still looking for that first win, has exerted his strength and gone back in front. Davey Allison finds himself in second. Looking further back here, Bill Elliott in the 6th position. Jeff Bodine is in 7th, Ricky Rudd in 8th, Joe Ruttman in 9th, and Chad Little stands in 10th position. That was with 54 of 188 laps complete. There's the man out in front, Sterling Marlin for the moment, and Davey Allison closing right in. Makes it a Ford fight at this point.
Ken, they have pulled away a little bit from the third place car of Dale Earnhardt. They picked up in a draft there, the two Fords of Marlin and Davey Allison, and is the biggest lead that we've seen any two cars have today.
NASCAR is really scrutinizing that pit road. They talk about those radar guns. We don't know where they are, but they just warned Ted Musgrave for sliding into the pits net, so they're really on top of them. Here's Chris.
Sterling Marlin is out in front. He is field has waited perhaps longer for a win than anyone else. He's 0 for 206. This is his 207th start. He's yet to win. If he should win today, he gets an extra $83,600 put up by Unocal, the supplier of gasoline to all the cars, for winning the pole and the race. So there's a lot riding on this race for the pole winner, Sterling Marlin.
4 second places in his career. He would certainly like to turn that around this weekend, and his dad's come down to cheer him on. Cuckoo Marlin won one of those 125-mile qualifiers and did a lot of great racing over in Tennessee for years. Here's Mike Joy.
And Ken, they want to make sure that 83,600 stays top of Sterling's mind.